Welcome back, everybody, to Unconditional Surrender Europe, game designed by Salvatore Vasta, published by GMT Games. This is the German Diplomatic Disaster series. This is January through March, so there's going to be a lot going on. It's 3 turns, but it is the Russian winter, and it's poor weather everywhere else in January. And so we just get started. No one declared war. Economy phases is pretty straightforward. No Germans give one to the Romanians because they need to move both of them. We go on strategic warfare. I'm 0 to his +2. I roll a 4, and he rolled a 1 + 2 is a 3, so nothing happened. We go into the west. He had an ultra marker to play, and I didn't have anything to play, so he played it. I rolled a 3 + 2 is a 5. Becomes a 2.5, becomes a 3. He rolled a 1 + 2 is a 3, so nothing happened. And then his ultra marker comes back in 6 turns. Strategic movement. I'm pretty sure I have one here. Yes, I take this guy in Posen, put him in Kiev. The West didn't have one. Soviets didn't have one. Let's go into Axis operations. I have no idea what I'm doing here. Oh, I put the 5th garrison goes out there to sacrifice itself so the 2nd can get out of the line of fire. And I move the Nor infantry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to attack his thing. He's a 0. I'm a +2, but I'm halved. So I rolled a 6, halved to a 3. He rolled a 3. So I moved the 10th into the swamp hex and attacked again. It's basically the same thing. So it's a 6 halved to a 3. But this time he rolled a 1, so he was flipped. And then I went ahead and spent another point to attack this guy because he's -2 now. And he throws in his airplane, I think, here. I get a 5 halved to 2.5 becomes a 3. He rolled a 3, -1 is a 2. If he hadn't thrown in his airplane, it would have become -2, would have been a 1, and it would have actually eliminated the unit. So the airplane saved him. And then I moved this guy into the line. And then I think, yes, I play games here with the Romanians. They run up here to hold this part of the river. This Africa army goes to hold the out of the Kerch Straits, and the Romanians move over. So not the best of things. And then the 10th gets out of the way and gets behind a river. It's the best I could do. And then I'm done. Reason being, I'm trying to save as many points as I can here to try and bring back my airplanes and stuff. And so the West, did he do anything? I think he did something down here in Italy. Oh yes, he has his attack across the mountains. He forgot to highlight the Western Desert Force here. So he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with an airplane -3, so he ends up at +2. I have my tanks 1 +3. He rolls a 6 +2 is an 8. And I roll a 3 + 1, a 1 + 3 is a 4. So I'm retreated. At least I wasn't flipped. And then our tanks go back onto the turn track. And I think that was it. He just has to go do his supply with his convoys. And then we're up here to the Russians. Let's get over here a little bit where you can see them. He did a lot of false starts and things about how he was going to attack. So he was a 1, 2, 3, 4, -1. Yeah, he was 3 -1, so he's +2. Then he threw an airplane in to become +3, +3 to +2. Why do I keep hitting that thing? He rolled a 6. I rolled a 1 + 2 is 3. Halved to 2. 1.5 becomes a 2, so I retreated. And he thought about doing it this way with 3 units, and he said, wait a minute, I don't need that because he's going to instead play the partisans on me. So I'm down to a 0, and then he throws a tanks in on top of it. So he ends up at a net +1 to my 0. He rolls a 7, I roll a 4, and I'm not. 4 halved is to a 2, and a 7 is a DD. 7 to 2 is a DD, so I'm flipped and removed, and I lose a willpower. Takes the hex. So Germany's just getting mauled here in this winter. The problem without having had a proper Barbarossa and made a lot of headway and chopped up the army, this is the price you pay for Italy coming in early on the western side. And then he's assaulting here. Put in both of his tanks so that he was 1, 2, 3 -2. So he's +1 to my +2. And then he flew an airplane all the way up to there. And then took another sortie, so he'd be +2 to +2. And we just went to mechanics here. It's +4 -2. So he rolled a grand total of a 5. I had a 5 halved to 2.5 becomes a 3, which is a retreat. I thought about retreating there, and I said, nope, I want to go here because otherwise the 10th would be isolated. I didn't want to give him the isolation. And so he goes ahead and moves a couple more guys up, throws in another airplane, ends up at he'd be +2, but he's -1 for the weather, -1 for the swamp. So he rolled a 5, I rolled a 4, +2 is a 6, which is a 3, so I'm flipped because I cannot retreat. What else did he do here? Now he's going into the south. He's going to get rid of that garrison unit. Attacks with just those guys. So he's +1. And he's isolated, so he ends up at a +3, and he just blows it away. Thinks about moving that guy in and says, no, let's move. Let's see, I'm getting rid of his assault markers. He moves the guy that was further back, he moves him up to take that swamp hex, which is a nice little defensive hex for the Russians to hold. And then he checked his national tracks. He had 10 left. He has 3 airplanes and 1 guy to flip, so he said, I'm done. I'm not going to do anything else this turn. And so we go ripping through no supply phase. We're doing my replacements. I'm getting my airplanes back. The West goes and does their convoys and stuff. And their airplane up in Liverpool. And then I think we're going to be over here in the Soviets as they do their airplanes. And then when it came to building time, went a little fast there. When we got to building here in productions, I built my armor and my airplane both in Königsberg. And then the Soviets built their shock army and 2 infantry. It was either build 3 ground units or build his airplane, and he chose to take the 3 the 3 ground units this turn. And then nobody's talking. Victory. End of turn phase. We're going into February, so just a lot of stuff comes flying off the tracks. And he keeps putting his British in the wrong place. And there we go. Now we're into the weather phase for February. This is just for the mild and the warm zone, are both severe and poor, I believe. Yes. Okay, so get rid of these tracks. Bring up that one, we don't need this one. No one declared war, we go into the commie phase. The Germans did not give the Romanians one this time. Now, oh, I just blew right by the Russians didn't have anything to play. I rolled a 6, and they rolled a 5, plus 2 is a 7. So nothing happened there. And then we went to, I rolled an 8 against the West, and they rolled a 4. So I chipped the British one and kept the Germans kept their factory count up. Then I pick up this garrison in Amsterdam, and he comes flying over to the north because I'm losing units there, and I needed to have something to possibly plug the line. And then this was me showing him, he was trying to figure out what to do with this airplane, and so I was just showing him that this is the best my airplane can be as far as covering northern Italy. 1, 2, 3, 5. You know, basically I can get to the Tiber. That particular line. And I said that, and you can reach me from there. So whether it sits there and waits for me to move there, or if it just goes off and does something else and comes back when needed. Strategic mode for the Soviets. He put the guy in Rostov into the mountains in front of Rostov. And we go into Axis operations. So, there wasn't a whole lot that I did here. Well, I moved this armored up and put him in the line, which probably shouldn't have done. Then I moved this infantry to there, and then later on in the turn, we realized that I was moving myself out of supply, and we agreed that I would not do such a silly thing. So, and then I fly this airplane up, get a sortie, and this airplane goes there for a sortie, and then I attack his airplane. I'm +1 to his 0, and I'm halved. He's actually -4, 5 because of poor weather. I rolled a 4, +1 is 5, becomes a 2.5 rounds up to a 3. So that takes him up 2 sorties, and then I think I flew to the north there. So he's a -6 and I'm at 0. I rolled a 2, so he just took 1, and then I just said, okay, 2 more sorties and take both of those guys out of the equation in the north. So he has less pluses when he attacks me. And then in the south, I moved my airplanes up. And I go after his airplane again. Get his airplane out of commission in the south. Then I made a half-hearted attempt to get this guy to flip so I might be able to kill him. Didn't work. Rolled a 3, half to a 2, he rolled a 3. And then I attacked to the north again, sort of a half-hearted attempt to push that out. I rolled a 6, half to a 3, he rolled a 3, so that didn't work. Then I came down here and I thought I could get the Yugoslav in on this attack as well when I started to do this, and then when we counted, it's like I can't do that. He's like, why not? I want to It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for the hex, 8, 9 for the unit. So I'm one movement point short of being able to attack there. So I just attacked from where I was at. We both threw in our stuff. So I was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -2. He started off at +1, throws in a tanks and an airplane from somewhere. Yeah, he threw in the second RAF. And I was successful. I rolled an 8, he rolled a 5, so I got him to retreat. And I moved the garrison down to sit in the port. And he sits in Taranto, not Brindisi, because if he's in Brindisi and he gets somebody down here in Cantatena or whatever and does an invasion into Taranto, and then he would have Brindisi isolated and be able to take it and end up with 2 units there. By being in Taranto, he'll be attacking me probably at best like +5 if he gets a real unit down here to my -2, -1 maybe. +4 to -1, I might hold. If I don't hold, I can retreat. And if he does hold, then he's isolated and makes it easier to kick him off the Italian heel. So that's why I did that. And Germans are gone. And again, I have... this was a mistake on my part somewhere. Oh no, I'm at 10. Yeah, I'm at 10, and I probably should not have... oh no, I'm at 20. Looks like. Back up a minute. So it's 3, 4. I get that one back. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I spent 7. So I was at 20. I really should be at 21. Anyway, we go into Western operations. I think he started to do this, and when we added it up, it didn't make sense. He would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Be 1, 2, 3, 4 -3. And he just said, no, I can't push you because I'm at +2. I think in a 6-1 split he could have, but he rolled a 4, and I rolled a 2 + 2 is a 4, so nothing happened. His 5 to my 4. And then he's bringing airplane. He does airplane things. He's moving convoys around. And then he's Russians come over here and recapture Sevastopol. Couldn't hold it because I'd be out of supplies sitting down there. And then that's when we realized I would be out of supply and I wouldn't do that. So now he's trying to figure out the best way to attack me. Gets this guy out of the way, puts a... so he's attacking it. +2, -2. Throws in a tank to get +1. Why is he +2? Oh, I think we added it all up and then took away for the weather in the location. And he rolled a 3 + 1 is a 4. I rolled a 5 + 2 is a 7. Half to 3.5 becomes a 4. Then he had... and now he's at... where's it going now? Oh, he started to try and do something down here. Oh, stupid phone. Excuse me. Phone's going off. Not sure what he's doing here. Okay, he came down here to an assault on the Romanian. Started off at -1. Added 1 for his tank, and I added 1 for my ground support. He rolled a 4. I rolled a 3. Plus 1 is a 4. Becomes a 2. So I was retreated. And my ground support came back in 2 turns. And let's see, what does he do next? He started off trying to do this assault and said, wait a minute, I want to do this first. And so I think we just backed up and had him start over. Yeah. So now he starts here. He moves this guy up. And he's at -2. He should be -2. He's only -1. There we are, -2 to 0. So 4 minus 2 is a 2, so he's not going to move me. And I rolled a 4. Came a 2, so that didn't work. If he could get a lucky push there, then he could take an infantry unit around and make it so that the 18th couldn't retreat and stuff. So he moves this guy in, adds in this guy. So right now he's +1, and he throws in a tank. So he ends up at +2 net. To my +2 halved. He rolls a 4. I managed to roll a 1, so I'm only at 2, so I'm forced to retreat. And this is a mistake on my part. Another one of my ridiculous blunders. Shouldn't have retreated there. Should have retreated to here. Because then this guy would not be isolated. By retreating here, I leave this guy open to be isolated, and he's going to die. So he takes the hex with the shock army. He brings down this shock army. Oh, what he's doing. Yes, that shock army and this guy. So he starts off at 0. He gets +2 for the shock army. And then another +2 because I'm isolated. Then -2 for the river and the weather. And he rolls the 6, of course, which is an 8. And I only roll a 4 + 2, which becomes a 3. An 8 to a 3 is a DD, so I'm eliminated. And he takes the hex, and then moves that infantry in to make my airplane fly away and give the Romanians attacks at -1 to 0. He rolled a 1, I rolled a 6, half to 3. Nothing happened there, and I think he was pretty much done here. Yeah, he started undoing them one at a time. And we go into the no supply phase. We're into replacements. I replaced 3 of my airplanes. Dumb on my part, because I should have not done some of the things I did. I get 4 airplanes and the airplane in the west. That's right. And what's going on here? And I also did the armored unit up here. The 3rd Panzer got flipped over too. Replacements for the west, of course, he just does his thing. I don't know why that convoy's sitting out in the ocean. And then we go over to the Soviets, I think. Yeah. And he just gets back his airplanes. Mobilization for the Axis. I had 1 point left, and so I went ahead and built an infantry in Königsberg. And he built his airplane in a row. Nobody's talking. End of turn phase. Stuff's going to happen here because we're going into March. back all those counters, and then we have to do the variable entry. So we go and we grab the stack of units and just put them out here. Then I rolled a 5, 3, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from March. 3 and 6. And then he's got his Russians, that's 6, so that guy goes out there. And then 2, he puts him there. It's not supposed to go there. He's not counting from March, he's counting from February. Keeps doing that. That guy was a 4. He should actually be in June. Move him and move him. And then a 1. And then 2 3s. And then he rolls for the Western Allies. He gets a 2, so the Canadians are back in 2 turns. Gets his upgrade in 5, so that'll be with my heavy artillery. Bomber command comes in 3, and the Ultra comes in 5. And there we are. Okay, so now we go into March. 2, 3, 5, so severe in the warm zone, poor in the other 2. And we can out here a bit. I'm holding my own in the strategic warfare for the moment. He's at 26 and 22. Or 20 with the Brits. So that was economies. We go to strategic warfare. I'm a 0, he's +2. I rolled a 5, he rolled a 5, so nothing happened there. And we go into the west. I'm +2 to +2, I rolled a 4. He rolled a 7, so he chipped me, gets 1 back, and I lose 1. And strategic movement. Get that off. Oops, wrong thing. Get that off the map. Not sure if I had one here. I don't think I had one with the Germans. So the Russians. We'll check. Yeah, I didn't have one with the Germans, and the Russians moved somebody. Oh, moved that guy that was up north and brought him down to the bend of the Dnieper over here. And it's German operations, and I'm going after his airplanes. I'm at he's at -6, and I'm at -1. Oh no, -3. And I didn't get it, so I have to run myself up 2 to take him down. And then we go for the other one here. And failed to do it there. Oh no, I got a 6 -3, which is a 3. The best he can get is a 1, so that's a 2 for 1. So I did get 1 2 for 1 on the front. And then down here in the south, I did not do anything, so I go ahead and do an assault here on this shock army, trying to get him to retreat. Yeah, it's poor weather. So, did we do combat commitment? Yes, we did. We did combat commitment, but he didn't have anything he could actually commit, so that was a waste of our time. So I go ahead and I think I throw in an airplane to get myself to +4. 4 + 4 is an 8, so it's like, hey, maybe I'm going to get my retreat. And he rolls a 5 + 1 is a 6, so he holds his ground. So it seems like every time I get a decent die roll and think I'm going to get something, he rolls just as well or better and stops me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1 attack. I throw in the kitchen sink so that I'm 1, 2, 3, 4 -1, so I'm +3 to 1. Get a 5, he gets 4, so that doesn't work. And before I move the Panzer, I go move this guy to here, move the Panzer to here. And we go ahead and assault with the Romanians, helping, so I'm +3 to his 0. Hoping for a 6-1 split, but I don't get it. I do get a 9, so there's something, right? I have my 9. And he rolls a 4+1 because he threw in a tank, so did get to flip him, but that doesn't mean anything here. And move the infantry in there, and then picked up the airplanes to the garrison. The garrison moves down there to maintain the supply line. And then the last attack, I think, is here. Just trying to get a push so I have retreat routes. He threw a tank, I threw an airplane. So, and I rolled a 1 + 5 is a 6. He rolled a 1 + 1 is a 2, so he's retreated. And Luki, and okay. And I'm not sure if I think I... Oh. This is where I make a mistake. I spent 4 points here to do this attack. Thought I could get a DD, but when you do the math, not very likely. So this is 4 points I should not have spent. This is another one of my blunders, like my 4th or 5th one. Because I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, -2, so I'm +4. He's at +1. Why am I at +3? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I'm 5. Sorry. 5 plus -2, so I'm +3, which means I'd need a 6 to get a 9, but he's automatically at +1, which means the worst thing that happens to him is he gets a 2, because we're at poor weather. Whoops, wrong thing. Because we're at poor weather, so he's going to get a minimum of 2. Worst I can get, best he can get, worst that happens to him is he's retreated. So this was just 4 points wasted. Shouldn't have done it. And we discussed it afterwards. I said what I probably should have done is gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that next turn I'd be set up to do, you know, a massive attack with the armor added in. I could, you know, maybe do something. But I didn't. So instead I did this. And he rolled a 4. I had rolled earlier a 3 + 3 is a 6, so nothing. Yeah, 6 to a 4 would have flipped him. 3, 4. Yeah, he should have been flipped. We missed it. It's not like he's short points. And now I think we're going over to the east. Or no, we're going to go back to the west here. Yeah. And he didn't really do anything here. I think he calculated out that he'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 -2 would be... Maybe he spent one of his tanks markers. No, he didn't. This guy really should have been flipped, but he wasn't. Oh well. Way it goes. Pay attention to the rules when you're playing. So this guy moves out of Nostric to go here, do an assault. This shock army goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it goes there along with this shock army. So that he's currently +3 to 0. +3 to +3. And I don't think he played his tanks marker there. So I threw in a sortie just to be safe. Oh, he did. He threw in a tanks marker. So it's +4 to +4. We both rolled 2s, so absolutely nothing happened. And then, did he actually do this attack? I don't think he did. Once he calculated the odds, he said this was a pointless endeavor. So he just just moved the one guy up, marked him for an assault just in case something happened and he decided to do it later. Then he has, I think he's just moving up the line here. Might be going to attack the Panzer. Yeah, he's going to attack the Panzer. So again, he's at +3. I'm at +3. It's +3 to +3. He rolls an 8, and I rolled an 8. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think he decided not to move that guy. Instead, he pulled the guy out that's in this little open space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kind of fill up his line there. This guy went in there. And I'm not sure if he does anything else. Nope, that was it. So we go to replacements. I can only replace 3 airplanes. This is why this was such a dumb thing. I have 4 airplanes on the east, and I didn't do it right, so I have to take these 2 airplanes and the one down there. And the west just does their thing again. Again, I do not know why this convoy is sitting out in the ocean. I think it's supposed to be in Palermo. And then, of course, the Soviets do their airplanes. And nobody had any mobilization except for the Soviets. I think that they get to build their... They have a couple infantry units to build. And that's it. End of turn phase. I think we just get a bunch of stuff here. Yeah. Germans have their surprise attack marker. And the Urals moves up 2, and they each get partisans, so... Yuck. And we move into April of 1942. And the weather is 563. So we go to severe, severe, poor. It's like, holy Toledo. And then that was the end of our playthrough. So, you know, not going well for the Germans at all here in the east. You know, he's almost got me a surrounded army here, the way things are going here. So it's not looking good for the Germans. And I'm kind of stuck with the whole Italian thing, not being able to really leave because he's got enough push here that he can actually hurt me. I still don't know why that convoy is there. It should be here. I don't know why it's not there. But we'll figure it out next time. Anyway, that's January 42 to March 42 of the German Diplomatic Disaster Series. If you like my videos, please subscribe, hit that like button, hit the thumbs up button. It helps YouTube say, hey, if you like it, you know, they'll push it up in the search engine or whatever, and people will be able to find this and watch it and see how badly I'm doing playing this game. Anyway, till we meet again, stay safe. Bye-bye.